Sit and sip a while, and welcome back to the Witch's Inn. Today's video is a general reading for the full moon in Libra happening on March 26th. Connect with your angels, spirit guides, and higher self to see what is coming forward for you with the energy this Libra moon is bringing. If this resonates, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, leave a comment so that I can get back to you. Enjoy, witches. Hello, witches, and blessed be. It's Karena here at the Witch's Inn. Sit and sip a while and welcome. Today I'm going to be offering a general reading for the Libra full moon happening March 26th. I feel really blessed because I'm recording this over the spring or vernal equinox or Ostera. We are getting ready to birth a new version of ourselves as the earth births its new version of itself here in the northern hemisphere. Clearly, I am still a little bit tongue-tied, and I think it's because as we step into newer versions of ourselves, our body, mind, and spirit take a little bit of time wiggling through and making sure that everything that's coming through is what's meant to. So, of course, this tongue-tiedness only happens when I'm getting ready to record. No matter how long I rehearse, it doesn't matter. So why don't we clear some space here with some white sage, and then we're going to get into our reading. So I ask my angels, spirit guides, and higher self to come forward so that the messages received today are brought forward in love, light, and clarity. Thank you. Take a moment here to clear the crystals, clear myself, align, and create a connection between you and I. All right, thank you. Now today, I don't really have any questions in store. I'm really just feeling called to pull the cards and see where it leads, what the story is telling us for this coming new year, full moon. Now I do say new year because Aries season does mark the beginning of the year for the actual Earth cycle. So let's see what she has to say about the energies that we can release and forgive with this coming moon in Libra. I'm going to pull one more card from the Modern Witch Tarot, and then I will accent with the Dark Woods Tarot, and then again, ooh, we have the Empress. Did you see that? With our Keepers of Light Oracle deck and Rebecca Campbell's, what am I using? Work Your Light Oracle deck. All right. Let's see what comes forth with the Darkwood Tarot. We're asking for just a general reading here for the full moon in Libra. Let's see what comes forward. What shadow aspects of these cards can we look forward to? Can we discover and find opportunities for growth? Perfect. We did have a card flip, and it's the Hermit reversed. That is, oh, and we have another card. Thank you. Now, all of these are coming out as reversals, and they're flipping up. So let's see what else comes forward. We are looking for two more cards, please and thank you, as shadow aspects for the Four of Wands. Perfect, thank you. And then finally for our Empress card, what is the shadow aspect for our Empress card? Thank you so much. If you stay tuned at the end of this video, I am going to be giving you a quick look at my vernal equinox altar. Normally I do offer a altar building workshop, but this year I kind of felt like it should just be kept to myself, but I'm pretty proud of it. So I'm gonna show you a wee video of what it looks like and how I crafted that. Wow, we got all 4 cards just ready to come forward as I was talking. And now finally, our last cards with Kyle Gray's Keeper of Light Oracle deck. Please and thank you. 4 cards, thank you. So this is the time of rebirth and renewal as we step into Aries season. I myself have an Aries moon, and my sun position as well as my rising is in Scorpio. So my working all comes through with that new birth, honoring the birth and the death cycle that allows for us to change and grow. If you are looking to discover more about your intuition, I do have a 4-week course that you can sign up for. Sign up closes April 2nd, 2021, and it is being held for $149. I will make sure to link that up in the description box below. But I am really excited. The people that have joined so far are just like, their energy is just ready to be, you know, birthed and explored. And I'm just really excited for what's coming through. So let's get to this reading. So we have, first and foremost, actually, we have in our universal wink position, the Hanged Man for the modern tarot. So our perspective is changing, and this is very resonant with what is happening here in the Northern Hemisphere at this time. We have this ability to kind of flip our point of view. We've gone from this dark, dreary winter into the spring season, and it seems to have happened overnight. So what I'm hearing is, if your perspective is changing during this time, don't get too confined with like where, why, how. Last week I thought this and now it's this. Like, roll with that. Allow your intuition to guide you where you need to be. Now, we then have the Hierophant in the first position for this story that is being told. The Hierophant comes out to let us know to create, it actually is kind of like a union card, right? So contracts, marriage, finding balance within the people that we are meeting and allowing our boundaries to kind of do the talking for us, okay? Now, we do have the Hermit card in reverse as well. I don't normally read reversals, but for the, for instance, the Hierophant was reversed. I didn't feel like that was a reversal that needed to happen. But with this Hermit card and the fact that it is springtime now, marked with this Hierophant and with the Hanged Man, I am seeing that it is that like deeper, that outer expression that needs to come forward. So if you have been thinking about creating contracts, okay, or if you have been thinking about expanding back out into your social sphere, creating a contract of how that looks safe or feels safe for you and the people that you are going to be interacting with, this is the time to do it. It's time to start emerging from that cage, that cave that Hermit kind of secludes themselves in, that crone-like energy, and come forward. Now, the Hierophant as well is a very good decision maker. In this deck, the Modern Witch Tarot, it is marked by a woman, but traditionally in the Rider-Waite, it actually is King Solomon. And so King Solomon had his dues, right? He was a very wise leader who was sought after, not just for, to keep the kingdom safe, but as counsel to his people. And so King Solomon often had to make very hard decisions. And he did this by placing that decision on his subjects and allowing them to show him where he needed to be led. So I hear this as well for you or for the collective as we're moving through here. And it's like, if you yourself don't have the answers, know where you need to go, pose the question back to the person who you are creating a contract with, creating an experience with, okay? Allow that to form your intuition and allow that to pull you where you need to go. Now, for our Work Your Light deck, I don't know why I'm having an issue with remembering this. We have the Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. So, and then we also have the Holy Spirit, expect miracles. Remember, the only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. So the fact that we have this original light workers here with the Holy Spirit, and again, I was talking about King Solomon. King Solomon is a Bible story. Take that as it resonates. I'm not necessarily religious. I did grow up in the church, so I do use these stories as references when I read tarot. But it kind of is like that origin story, right? King Solomon comes before Jesus, right? He's in Old Testament. So before this happened, before Jesus walked this earth, before the Holy Spirit was here and we had that Trinity, we did have divine intuition, divine knowledge for ourselves. We didn't look for that externally. So this to me is really saying to us that, like, the more that we open and bloom into our intuition and find that balance, right, with that Libra moon, we are going to find that those miracles that are waiting for us. The universe wants to answer our calls, but they need us to kind of go forward and trust what is happening. And that's really what I'm seeing here with that opening of this full moon. Now, they are telling me that this might come through as an experience for you, not just with this coming spring season, but actually over the full moon. So as I said, I believe it's on the 26th. No, it's actually on the 28th. Sorry. So I am seeing this energy on the 26th. Now, we then have a universal wink from the Dark Woods Tarot, and this is the King of Cups. So the King of Cups in this deck asks us to explore our inner demons, right? And then we have the Seven of Wands in the second position for the story that we're telling. And the Seven of Wands talks about those battles. So I do see this as like us saying, or our angels, our spirit guides saying that, like, we are conquering those inner demons. We are fighting against them and saying, like, no, that's not actually the story that I believe. The story that I believe is this. And although past experience may have wanted me to feel this way, that's not truly where I'm going. We then have the Ace of Wands. The more that we fight into this, right, have this battle in our head of, like, this is the narrative that I held, this is the narrative in which I'm going, we're going to have this amazing abundance come towards us. The Ace of Wands talks about pursuing our heart's passion and knowing that where we go, our heart and the universe is going to lead and follow behind us. Now, the Ace of Wands is divine guidance. So that secondary voice that you're probably starting to hear, that more confident version of the ego that's coming through, listen to that. Allow that to pull you forward. When an old thought pattern comes through that says, like, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, and the new version says, like, no, I'm ready to step into this story. I'm ready to step into the narrative in which that is most aligned with my heart chakra. Go there, follow that. This is exactly where this Holy Spirit is being asking us to be led, right? And this is where true miracles happen. Okay, they just told me to, like, talk about my bunny ears a little bit with regards to this Ace of Wands. Now, as you can see, I have my Body, My Choice t-shirt on, and this is something that I truly believe. But also, I believe that we should be finding the child in ourselves and bringing that forward. So we are allowed to hold two separate narratives or many different narratives in our lives and be working with them simultaneously, like at the same time, to bring us where we want to be. So we then have the Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? Exactly like this, right? Like, how do you influence your sphere around you? Are you speaking up when it feels like your heart and your throat want you to? And if it feels hard, if it feels blocked, then it is time to speak up. It is time to allow that energy to move forward. Where this might come into play, where it's kind of blocked, we have Mercury, open communication. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. So in the past, especially since we are in the maiden season, right? This time of year is that maiden season. We might be experiencing moments where our maiden was told that she was too much when she was expressing her passion. And this is where that kind of voices came from of, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy. When I speak up in this way, people think I'm attacking them. You will intimidate others with your confidence. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't step into that high priestess energy and allow for that communication to guide you. If that communication is too much for someone else, allow them to speak it, and don't dim your light, but perhaps take notice with an open heart of how you can adjust accordingly. Okay. So how are you being called to step up? And not in other people's lives, but in your own life. What is your values? What is your belief system, right? And finding that balance. And remember that to find that balance, you have to practice that. You have to be willing to step out, right? And this is that balance of that Libra full moon. You have to be willing to step out of the comfort zone of those negative thought patterns and into that version of, no, this is who I believe I am. And I'm going to continue to pursue that as long as I need. Now, we have the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits and soul tribe. So the more that you do that, the more that this soul-centered beings will find you, right? The more you will find opportunities for growth within yourself. And you're not going to be scared that you're going to burn out or fall short, because you know that each time that you quote unquote fail or don't find yourself being enough for yourself, you're going to have that opportunity of growth to step forward. We have the Four of Wands. Now, it's interesting because I did say that the Hierophant is a marriage or a contract card, and the Four of Wands is also a celebration of marriage, engagement, or something joyous happening in your life. So I do marked with this, the Great Gathering. It does really seem that like we will be kind of stepping into this more, this greater ceremony within ourselves, finding that true sacredness that lives in our bones. And then we have the King of Wands. So we have some very powerful cards coming forward. A lot of wands are showing up here, actually. So the Knight of Wands takes charge when it comes to his heart's desires. What do you want to go after? What are you wanting to celebrate in your life? And where can you already celebrate this? What parts of your vision that you are going towards have you already created that perhaps you haven't actually seen yet? So the Knight of Wands says, like, take a look at the action that you're already creating in your life and celebrate that. We then have the I'm Rama. Where are you being called to journey to? So how can you celebrate this journey and where it is going and where it has brought you from and where you are being brought to with it? Really listening. Now, you might be having this longing or this understanding of like, I am really trying to create this future version of myself, calling her forward. Ask that, right? Ask and set a plan. If you haven't yet, set a plan for how you are going to execute this journey, knowing that like you might have to weave in and out of traffic a little bit to get there, but ultimately you are. Now we then have soul expansion. And again, these cards are all marked in blue, except for our last one here, which I'll get to in a minute, but they're all marked in blue. So this all has to do about the throat chakra. And it's interesting how I started this and I said, you know, I'm having some trouble with my throat chakra and getting the words that I want to be expressed out more fully. And stumbling a little bit. And I think that's here, soul expansion. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connection between all things. So knowing that like the more that you step up and step out and celebrate these parts of yourself, the more that you are going to maybe be faced with some stumbling. Why? Because as we assert and step into boundaries, as we assert and step into this more truer, authentic version of ourselves, we are going to have people push up against us. And it's either going to be, I am ready to move on and expand in a new way, or are you going to step up and stand with me? I'm no longer going to dim my light to fit into your sphere. If you want to be in my sphere, you need to step up and in. And realizing that by doing this with an open heart, right? That Four of Wands, that Ace of Wands, that Knight of Wands energy, doing that with an open heart, you'll be able to hear when what you are doing is causing a shortcoming in your own life, not in other people's lives, right? So it's really coming to this place that like, I am the authority in my life. And if I want this soul expansion to continue to go forward, then I'm the one that drives that, okay? And I know that going along this road, it's going to be bumpy. I'm going to stumble and I'm going to find opportunities for self-growth, but that doesn't stop me, right? I no longer flee when I feel like fighting. So we then have Lady Venus. Downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. Now, we also have the Empress marking our 4th position. And I want to read these cards in tandem because I really do feel that like the Empress embodies everything she is. Notice how she sits strong and mighty on this very, very comfortable throne. This is the divine feminine embodied, okay? And we all, regardless of how we identify, we all embody this nurturing caregiver, this wild woman, these archetypes, right? We all can say that we've had moments where we felt too much, regardless of how we identify. Now, this downloads and understanding is coming from this spirit realm being downloaded into us, realizing where we have matured, where this soul expansion, this soul growth has truly happened. And it's kind of revealing like this web of, oh, all those opportunities that I deemed as failures were actually me leveling up in my experience. And perhaps I couldn't see it then, right? That maiden energy of, okay, if I'm too much, I'm going to shrink. I'm going to become less than, right? No, I'm going to take her and really empower her now. So I am hearing like, if this is resonating with you, pick an age where like you felt where disempowerment was happening and work with her and that maiden version of yourself over this springtime, really helping her find balance and treating her. The Empress is that mother figure, okay? Treating her like being the mother to that younger version of yourself, to help with her throat chakra opening, to help with this heart chakra opening and blooming, so that come the summertime months, you are able to really embody every facet of what this new authentic version of yourself is. And of course, all that amalgamation of every single, timeline that we have traveled down. Now we have the Four of Swords that's marking this. Now the Four of Swords, it kind of looks a little bit auspicious. If you look at this card, it's this man over top of this woman while she's sleeping, and she's hiding a knife, right? And to me, this does kind of speak a little bit of the dream realm, but it also speaks about how when we drop when we take authority in our lives, when we take authority of our path, we're no longer waiting for those daggers to fall. We're no longer taking things so personally and ready to be on the attack. We're ready to respond and stand where we need to stand, but we're not waiting for an attack and preparing ourselves. We're actually ready to like step into and enjoy more of that Four of Wands type of energy, right? I am hearing with the Four of Swords as well, that it's time to really start listening to our daydreams, that secondary thought, or our dream activity. Our dreams can show us moments in time where perhaps we have went on the attack, when if we would have taken a step back and looked at the bigger picture, what this person was actually trying to offer us was a moment of growth, a moment of self-expansion. But because of past experiences, because perhaps we were in that victim mode, this is very much a victim card, we were reacting instead of responding. So my guides just showed me yesterday, I had to go to the bank, and I was driving, and I was in a parking lot. And as I pulled up to the bank to use the ATM, this person drove up beside me and kind of beeped their horn at me. And so anyways, this person let me know, hey, when you were driving through, I was just about to pull out of my parking space, and I almost hit you. So I loved your energy, but can you just pay attention a little bit more? Now, past me would have been like, you know, screw you. Like, you're pulling out of a parking space. You pay attention, right? New version of me, the one who's taking the authority in my life, says, wow, I'm so sorry. You're right. I was looking out, but I didn't see you. And so I do apologize for that. And it ended up being like a really nice exchange. And he was like, thank you so much for listening to me. And again, this is that Four of Swords energy of, I'm not looking at where people are trying to attack. Instead, I'm taking personal responsibility for myself and seeing, okay, yeah, thank you. That's a message from my guides that I need to be looking out for my surroundings a little bit more. And thankfully, it was done with this man who was very nice and kind to point this out to me. Now, we also have our Akasha. So your guidance is divinely guided. Please pay attention to how your body is responding, okay? We are in a huge karma breaking cycle. This year is karma. Last year, 2020, we were seeing where our karma was. This year, we have the opportunity to break that karma. So before you go to speak, take a moment, right? Listen to what's being said and then go. This allows all of your experiences to kind of catch up, and then the divine guidance to respond where you need to respond. And then we have Archangel Michael, trusting heaven. You are safe. Angels stand close. Surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to happen. So we've had two cards referencing miracles. We've also had the Ace of Wands, which does talk about miracles with regards to our heart center. Archangel Michael steps in to let us know that it is safe to let go of the emotional turmoil that is continues to reside in our bodies after a circumstance has happened, right? Now, with regards to this, with being like a victim, we put ourselves back into that memory, whatever that might be. And it might hold a lot of trauma for us, but we allow that to continue to play, to continue to affect us in our present moment. So Archangel Michael says, you don't have to forget it, but it is time to release that emotional toll that it holds on our bodies and learn from that experience. Take that wisdom and learn from it. Archangel Michael is an amazing angel to call on, especially over the full moon, when we are being asked to forgive and release. So we forgive, we give gratitude, and we release over the full moon, really allowing that releasing process to happen as the waning moon takes us into the dark moon or the new moon, ready for us to birth new intentions. So pay very close attention over this moon and over the next few weeks, seeing how this karma is coming forward. What roles are you playing in this outward sphere? And do you want to continue playing that role? Or are you ready to take the boundaries in which you've been saying you're going to step into and actually step into them? Knowing that we're going to stumble a little bit along the way, especially when it comes to our communication or how we communicate our outward selves to the world, right? Communication doesn't just have to do with our throat. It has to do with our appearance. It has to do with the way that we write, speak, interact with others, right? Even just our body language. And the way that we communicate with our guides. Are we ready to say to them, this is what I want. This or better, please. This or better. I am grateful. I am forgiving, right? Know that a miracle is going to happen and that it is safe now to let that old narrative go and really step into this more fuller version of yourself, welcoming all these other parts, but removing the emotional toll that it has on your body. Perfect. How amazing. All right, my lovelies, that is it for the reading. If this resonated, it means so much to me. If you can like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel. If you want to leave me a comment, please do so. I'm going to do my best to respond. And if you would like to work with me personally, either through my 4-week intuition class, perhaps you'd like a personal reading on your own, or to work on me one-on-one through some mentoring, through some of this victim into responsible authority in your own life, let me know. I will have all that linked up in the bio or description of this post. And if you stick around for just a little bit, I will take a snapshot and add it to the video of my Ostera altar that I made for the spring equinox. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Regardless of how you interact with this video, it means a lot to me. It allows me to continue and live my purpose and step into the more fuller version of myself. So remember, you are a badass witch. Go get it. Bye.